Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with another Reddit story for you. This one's about cake. This one is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Yelling at My Wife in Front of My Family for Putting Salt in My Mom's Birthday Cake? Oh my. So, my wife, 24, is the main cook in the apartment. She cooks whenever we have guests over, and for ages, Mom has been complaining about my wife not adding enough salt in her meals. My wife would take it personally and start a fight over this small comment my mom makes. Anyways, my wife and I hosted dinner weeks ago and Mom made the same comment about my wife not using enough salt, though my wife swore she did and said she was careful with salt, but Mom still insisted food was tasteless. Hey, time out. Mom, add your own salt. That's why there's a salt and pepper shaker on the table. Game on. Now, the family were divided on this, so we couldn't really decide if my wife really used enough salt. My wife started crying after they left, saying Mom was being deliberate with this salt remark to make her look like a bad cook, but I told her that's not true and she needed to let it go, and she did. Hours later, she forgot about it completely. For my mom's birthday, my wife offered to make the birthday cake, saying she found a really great recipe on a cooking blog. Mom wasn't excited for the idea, but I told my wife to do it, thinking it'd be a nice gesture to help them get past their conflict. We went to my mom's house and brought the cake. During the party, my wife insisted my mom be the first to taste the cake. Mom grabbed a piece, and once she put it in her mouth, she immediately got it out while spitting in the plate. We freaked out and got her some water while she was yelling that there was salt in the cake. I looked at my wife, and she said she had no idea what my mom was talking about. I immediately went to get a piece and taste some and found out that it was full of salt. It tasted horrible, absolutely horrible. Still, my wife acted confused, but I told her how up it was for her to put salt in a cake. She said that since Mom was obsessed with salt, then she figured she'd prefer it over sugar in her birthday cake. I was flabbergasted. I blew up and berated her in front of my family till she took her bag and went home. My sister said it was all right and that my wife was probably feeling frustrated and wanted to make a point with my mom. I went home and she refused to speak except to say that I hurt her by yelling at her and that I should have told Mom off when she kept making remarks about her cooking, but I told her she acted childishly and ruined the birthday party and made an unnecessary scene for no reason at all. Now she's acting like the wronged party, but I let her know she has to apologize to Mom. Yeah, you know what? We'll whip this out right away. We get some petty confetti, some choppy petty confetti. I really need to rebuild this animation. It just struggle buses every second of the way, doesn't it? It's like it just can't do it. It's some petty confetti for sure. Now, here's where the real kicker comes in. Like obviously, Mom or mother-in-law in this case, I guess it's OP's mom, for her remarks. Like, you salt to taste, right? If you like things saltier, legitimately, you use the frickin' salt shaker. That's what it's there for. Making remarks over and over again just to take jabs at someone, obviously not cool. Is this a two wrongs make a right kind of situation there? Not saying it wasn't warranted, but is it a two wrongs make a right situation here? He didn't have to take mother-in-law's side, though. Agreed. So I think that this is another one of those occasions where the title question isn't the real question. The question should not be, am I the astronaut for yelling at my wife in front of my family for putting salt in my mom's birthday cake? The real question should be here, am I the astronaut for siding with my mother every single time and not my wife? And for that, yeah. Yes, you are, OP. You are an asshole for that. That is not cool. Your wife is feeling completely alone, which is why she took the drastic action that she took. She knows she shouldn't have done this, but what choice did she feel like she had except to retaliate? She was backed into a corner. Was she not? All cakes have at least a pinch of salt. She did try to talk to him. Sometimes petty is the only way to drive a point. Tell hubby he could start cooking. Siding with Mom. Yeah, and even here at the very end, it's not, there's no question of Mom apologizing to her. The only question is she has to apologize to Mom. That's what OP ends this with. So, I'll answer the actual question. Am I the astronaut for yelling at my wife in front of my family for putting salt in my mom's birthday cake in the context of knowing that you have sided with your mother every single time leading up to this point? And have not been on your wife's team at all coming into this? Yeah, I think you are. Where, though? Where? I think it's at least a 2. He definitely shouldn't have done it. Is it 1? I don't know that I can call it a 1 because if he is, well, you know, he's likely been manipulated to side with his mom, which mommy's boys do often. Does it make him evil or does it make him manipulated? a hard 2, like in need of some fiber, Sergeant Mac. I'm going to stick with 2 here and give him a little bit of grace because I want him to get his head out of his ass. It might be hard. It might be difficult with all of his hard number 2s up in there, but hopefully he can turn this thing around, realize that he's been siding with his mom at every single turn and be like, you know what, honey, you're right. She needs to apologize to you as well. I'm not saying that what OP's wife did was right. It was petty. She felt like she was backed into a corner, though, and she felt like that's the only action she could take. It's either that or just submit and be this woman's punching bag for the rest of her life. And she wasn't about to do that, so she took a stand. Took a stand in a petty, very salty way. Yes, it was salty. However, she knows it wasn't right. She knows. But that's not the thing in question here, right? It's not the thing in question. She played it off. She's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea. What kind of animals crave salt? Because reading this, I was like, oh, mother-in-law might be a slug, but they reject salt. Like, they hate salt. So I don't know. She would have like shriveled up and foamed. What salt? Horses like salt licks? Kate and Thunder, I crave salt. Horses, deer, goats. Okay, well, maybe she's got a little bit of that in her. You never know.